Midwest Whitetail is brought to you by Realtree, Hoyt Archery, Muddy Outdoors, Fuse Accessories, Frigid Forage, Trophy Rock, Scentmaster, Cabela's, Rocket Broadheads, TrailCamPro.com, Bloodsport Arrows, Redneck Hunting Blinds, ScentLock, Scott Archery, Yeti Coolers, and Nikon.
Welcome to Midwest Whitetail. Today's the 10th, and I'm heading back into a spot that I've hunted quite a bit this past week. And there's a reason for that. With all the trail cameras that we ran on this farm during the late summer, there was one spot that had the most mature bucks on it, and that was back here by this redneck blind in this area that we call the killer stand. Hopefully one of these bucks will come out for us this evening, but we've got a lot of action for you. I'm going to bring you some of that first before I get my hunt started. Scott Prucha had a real exciting hunt over a Decoy a couple of days ago, so we'll jump to that segment first, and then I'll get back to the blind and we'll update you on how this afternoon's hunt's going.
We're heading out for our afternoon hunt here on November 7th in southern Iowa, and we often say this is one of the best days of the year to be in the woods. Well, we're a little bit unsure about that right now. We sat 4 hours up in the timber this morning and did not see a deer. This area where we're hunting tonight, there's a couple bucks that we know on the farm, Flip Flop and Flat Top Jr. It's actually the field where I was filming them this summer is right down below us. So tonight we're going to change our strategy a little bit, go to the highest spot in the farm where we can see forever. Food plots, egg fields. So we'll know if the deer are moving. This is also a spot where these deer like to cross from one woodlot to another. And even though we're not in the timber, we're at the closest junction of a couple corners of woodlots, so it's a natural intersection for those deer to travel through. So we'll see if that helps. One other thing we're going to try tonight is the old decoy. When you get in these wide open spots where they can probably see us from 200 yards away, too far to call. The wind is howling out here today, so the decoy might be just enough to bring them in, get them in where we can get a shot opportunity. So we're going to give it a shot. We don't use it very often, but November 7th can't be a bad day to try it, so we'll see what happens. Winds are howling out here today, but we're going to be sitting up in this shingle oak right behind me here, and what we're hoping is that we're in a real high visibility point. You can see it probably 200 yards down this bean field. There's a big hay field behind us here. Anything coming over the crest will see this decoy, and we've got the wind blowing west-south or west-northwest tonight. So I like to face that decoy right looking the way the wind's blowing, so the wind's at his back, because what these other bucks like to do, they always like to get downwind. They like to face off with them nose to nose. So what they'll do is they'll loop around, get downwind, and come right at them. So if that works, I'm going to have a 20-yard broadside shot on any aggressive buck that comes in tonight. So we'll see what happens.
Well, we're way ahead of this morning. We sat till 10 o'clock and didn't see a deer. We've been out here for, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. And I look up and here's a doe fawn eating beans already. Kind of startled her, but it brought her right in the shooting range, so that's what we want to happen with the big buck tonight. Maybe Flip Flop will oblige. Louder, louder. Snort wheeze, baby. It's about 4:45, and finally we saw a pretty good buck. Big white 8-pointer. He snuck in behind us here, and boy, it was within 30, 35 yards, but it's a spot I couldn't really shoot. We've got the decoy out here on the other side on the edge of the beans. We were hoping he'd see him. We tried grunting at him. It's just so windy up here, I don't think he even heard it. So it's a good sign. He was out cruising for sure. We saw another young buck doing the same thing earlier, so it's a good sign. We got about 45 minutes left. Maybe he'll make a reappearance here. Well, that's the way it's supposed to work. We were just hoping the deer would be a little bigger. That's the same one. He sees the decoy. was so cool. We saw him earlier tonight. We couldn't call him in. It was too windy. He came out behind us again. He he was 10 yards away and I could not get a shot through this tree. We kept hearing something underneath us. I didn't even know what it was. It was a doe and a fawn. He grunted a couple times under the tree, circles around, just gets ready to face up with the decoy. We smoked him. He's pouring blood out of his mouth. He's done. November 7th. That's what I'm talking about. That's awesome.
Well, he's right ahead of us here. He came, I don't know, maybe 30 yards off this bean field, so I haven't put my hands on him yet, so let's check it out. Well, November 7th, once again, proved to be a charm. We hunted all morning and did not see a deer, and we got up to a spot this afternoon where it was real high. We could see a lot, and the rut's been slow down here this year, and I guess the thinking was if we got up high, at least we'd know if deer were cruising, and because we could see them through all 3 or 4 different fields. We can see literally hundreds of yards in almost every direction. We saw this buck earlier in the night, scent checking, looking for does, and then showed up again later. He saw the decoy in the field, and it was perfect. And we had a doe and a fawn walk right underneath the tree out into the beans where the decoy was, and that set him off. He wasn't going to let that other buck have any action with that doe, and he walked out, presented a beautiful broadside shot, and he didn't go very far. It was a great ending on November 7th.
Got about an hour and a half left in my evening hunt here, and all I've had come out so far is these same 2 fawns that every time we sit back here, these 2 fawns come out. But quite a bit of time left in the evening, and I would certainly expect some bucks are going to come out before we're done here. I'll keep you updated on what's going on here this evening, but first I'm going to take you back for the highlights of my last 4 days of hunting. Day 7, November 6th, in the redneck blind out here by the killer stand. So we're right in that sweet spot now where we should be seeing some good buck activity. I'm back from my afternoon hunt here, 6th of November. The conditions have changed quite a lot. Looking out the window now, you're going to see blue sky, still a little bit breezy. But I'd say we're on the high pressure side now of this front that went through. Should be peak movement. Day 8, November 7th. I've always said that if I could only hunt one day every season, it would be November 7th. Got in here pretty good this morning. I'm back in the same spot I hunted yesterday in this redneck blind. It's the afternoon of November 7th, and I'm heading into a new spot. Need a little change of scenery. Day like today, the deer should come out, the does should come out into the food plot, and hopefully the bucks will come out and we get an idea what's down here. Same bottom. I've spent a lot of time down in this spot over the years, but it's just a fun place to be, and usually you can see bucks cruising up or down the valley. Got about 20 minutes of shooting light left this evening. And the two fawns are the only deer that have come out. And we haven't hunted this spot to death, I don't think. I mean, we've been in here a fair amount, but we've always gotten in and out pretty clean, and we haven't spooked deer while we were on stand or in the blind. So I just think it's one of those nights when the deer just aren't moving. It's real still. And I've said it before many times, but it just seems like in this area that when the conditions are really still, the deer don't move. And when we do see them, it seems like they're just standing there listening. I think they just have kind of a sensory overload, and they can hear so well that they spend all their time just standing around listening. So anyway, that's my excuse for why I'm not into any bucks this evening. If anything pops out for the rest of this evening, it's going to have to be on next week's episode because I'm wrapping it up right here. I appreciate you joining us, and I'm sure that we'll be bringing you a consistent supply of rut action now for the next couple of weeks, and we look forward to that here. So we'll see you back here again next week for the next episode of Midwest Whitetail. And remember to always dream big.